before I speak a single word. You're already moving in my heart. Before I tell you what I'm missing, you've been working from the start. When I feel lost in all my questions, wondering how you make a way, you remind me gently, softly, you're not forgotten in this place. Every worry that I carry is already in your hands. God knows what I need. Every fear, every cry, every unseen piece of me. Before I pray, you hear. Before I fall, you lead. Your love provides in ways my eyes can never see. I trust you with tomorrow. God knows what I need. You see the battles I don't mention, the silent tears I never show. You understand the storms inside me that I can't explain to anyone else below. And even when the answer lingers and waiting feels too hard to bear, you whisper truth into my spirit. My child, I'm holding every prayer. Every step that feels uncertain is guided by your perfect plan. God knows what I need. Every fear, every cry, every unseen piece of me. Before I pray, you hear. Before I fall, you lead. Your love provides in ways my eyes could never see. I trust you with tomorrow. God knows what I need. You're in the quiet, you're in the waiting, you're in the dream still unfolding. You're in the sorrow, you're in the breakthrough. Every moment you are holding. Nothing in my story escapes your loving sight. You already working before the morning light. God knows what I need. My past, my present, every hope inside of me. Your mercy goes before, your goodness follows me. Even when I can't understand, your promise is my peace. I won't fear the unknown. God knows what I need. Always and forever. You know what I need. When the night is closing in and every prayer feels like it fades into the dark, when the mountains will not move and all the weight I carry starts to crush my heart, I lift my eyes above the storm, where every promise you have spoken still stands true. Though my strength is almost gone, there's a fire deep inside that keeps me running back to you. You are the one who never changes. You are the breath inside my chest. You hold the time, you hold the ages, and every fear bows down to your command. You are the God of the impossible. What no one sees, you make it storm bows at the cross. You are faithful through the fire. You are constant in the trial. You're the God of every promise, and your word makes oceans rise. You are the God of the impossible. What no one sees, you make it visible. When every door feels close to me, you open paths I never dreamed. You turn the broken into beautiful. You turn the hopeless into miracles. This is my faith, my song, my cry. God of the impossible, forever by my side. I've walked through seasons burned by silence, where every hope felt torn in two. I stood inside the heat of trials, wondering if you saw me move. But even when the fire surrounded, I heard a whisper in the flame. You're not alone inside this battle. I'm right here calling out your name. You never leave me in the ashes. You never turn your face away. Your presence stands where fear collapses. Your mercy meets me in the blaze. When God steps in the fire, every chain begins to break. When God steps in the fire, every mountain starts to shake. No flame can steal the promise that your love already gave. When God steps in the fire, I'm safe, I'm safe. Just like the three who stood unshaken, with every eye fixed on the threat. You showed the world your power greater than every fear they ever met. And when my soul feels trapped in shadows, you walk beside me once again. Your faithfulness becomes my anthem. Your victory echoes in my chest. You'll never leave me in the ashes. You never turn your face away. Your glory rises where my past is and turns my weakness into praise. When God steps in the fire, every chain begins to break. When God steps in the fire, every mountain starts to shake. No flame can steal the promise that your love already gave. When God steps in the fire, I'm safe, I'm safe. Even if the flames rise higher, your hand pulls me through. Even if my voice grows quieter, my heart will trust in you. You are the strength that doesn't falter, the peace I can't explain. You're the God who turns the fire into a doorway of grace. When God steps in the fire, every fear begins to fall. When God steps in the fire, I remember you're above it all. No trial can stop your promise. No storm can steal your name. When God steps in I've stood with hands that felt too empty, trying hard to hold my faith, wondering if the dreams you planted still had life beneath the weight. The road was long, the night was heavy, and hope felt distant on the wind. But even then, you stayed beside me, whispering, this is not the end. I carry fears like silent shadows, clinging to my fragile chest, trying to understand your timing while you were teaching me to rest. Your grace became my quiet shelter, your love became my steady ground. The pieces of my fading courage slowly learned to rise again in sound. So take my doubt, take my burden, take the things I cannot change. You're the one who builds the future from the ruins and the pain. You go beyond what I can hold, beyond the hope I thought I lost. You take the dreams I buried deep and breathe new life into the dust. You are the God of the impossible, the King who moves what I can't move. And when I feel like giving up, your faithfulness pulls me through. There were days I walked in questions, nights I thought you closed the door, but you were breaking hidden limits, lifting me to trust you more. Now every valley sings of mercy, every storm reveals your hand. You're the God who turns my weakness into strength I never planned. So here I stand, still learning, still learning how your timing flows. But every step you walk beside me, and every season still you hold. You go beyond what I can hold, beyond the hope I thought I lost. You take the dreams I buried deep and breathe new life into the dust. You are the God of the impossible, the King who moves what I can't move. And when I feel like giving up, your faithfulness pulls me shadow. You light what I can't see, what I call over, you call beginning. You're writing victory in me. You go beyond what I can hope, far past the fear that blocked my sight. You take my story in your hands and turn the darkness into light. You are the God of the impossible, the voice that breaks the night in two. And every breath my heart remembers, nothing is impossible for you. There were days you woke up broken, praying just to breathe. Nights you held your heart together so no one else would see. The pieces of your hope scattered on the floor, dreams you thought were gone forever, gone for sure. But even in the silence where your faith fell thin, He was healing every wound you carried deep within. He saw the tears you never let fall. He heard the prayers you whispered when you felt too small. Nothing is wasted in His hands. He turns the ashes into plans. The God who made dry bones arise still brings the dead to your past, defined you, marked you with regret. But he took every never will and made a new beginning. Yeah, he rewrites endings no one else can change. He speaks of mercy in a world that calls you strange. Storms may rise and threaten what you've built by faith, but he will hold you steady in his perfect grace. He rebuilds hearts that time tore down. He places crowns where others saw the ground. Nothing is broken in his view. He makes all things brand new. The God who healed the blind before still opens eyes and more. He is still the God who restores, the one who opens every locked and broken door. He lifts the fallen, heals the worn. He turns the shattered into something reborn. And every promise he has spoken stands forever sure. Yes, he is still the God who restores. He restores what fear has taken, restores what pain has shaken, restores the years you thought were lost, restores what life once cost. He restores the dreams abandoned, restores the joy you imagined. He restores with love that never withdraws. He is the God who restores. He is still the God who restores. Oh, and every battle you've survived, he will repay with more. He builds your future on his word. He crowns your story with his perfect love assured. Yesterday, today, forever, you are spoken for, because he is still the God who restores. He restores. Oh, he restores. The God restores. I walked through nights that felt unending, carrying fears I never said aloud. I held my breath while shadows whispered that I was lost beneath the weight of doubt. But even then your presence found me, a quiet light within the deepest stake. You touched the ground I stood in trembling, and every lie began to break. I used to think my faith was fragile, a tiny seed too weak to ever rise. But you remind me in the silence that even seeds can split the hardest skies. You take the pieces I keep hiding and call them gold within your hands. You turn my weakness into worship. You turn my trembling into stand. When fear surrounds, you lift my eyes above the storm, above the night. And in your voice I find my fight, in every breath, in every light. When you speak, mountains tremble. When you move, oceans split wide open. Every chain falls to pieces at your feet. Your power is unbroken. You are the God of the impossible. Nothing stands against your name. You write hope across my story, and you turn ashes into flame. There were days I walked in silence, thinking you were far from where I stood. But you were closer than my heartbeat, working things I never understood. You were healing what was hidden. You were lifting what I could not see. You were shaping every future, holding victories meant for me. So take my doubt, take my sorrow, take the fears I never show. Lead me into faith tomorrow, where impossible fear can stay. You make a pathway where there was no way. You raise the fallen, you call me yours. You open windows where I saw locked doors. You calm the thunder, you part the sea. You silence storms that once shattered me. You lift the broken, you crown the weak. You turn the future